Bull City cornbread fan. I'm Bull City cornbread.
John, I see your mobility work is really working out
coming along
for you.
Getting pretty nimble.
Can we see a squat?
That's it.
No rep.
That's all you get. You can't. There's a table. You don't know. You know where my hips are at.
We are here in beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina, at the new
Stronghold.
The new Outlaw Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Spent thousands of $5 to make this studio.
At least.
You'll notice this is a big piece of wood.
It's juniper.
That is our new desk. It's actually beautiful. Also, since this is the new home, this is the new Outlaw Studios. Mm-hmm. Do you like the studios thing? I like it. Sounds like Disney. DreamWorks. It's like DreamWorks in here.
Pretty much.
Teamwork, make the dream work. Notice we have the line of demarcation. John's not allowed to cross this line onto my side.
What about in space?
Demarcation. I don't know what that means.
It's war if you go across that line.
It's going to be war.
I don't think you want that.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. All right, so the goal. We're shooting a series of videos that kind of go along with our new program, and the goal is to answer your questions, to describe sort of what my goal is in the programming throughout a weekly or a monthly block. To kind of talk you guys through, I've made this into the intro video now. Okay.
I'm cool with that.
To kind of talk you guys through how to run a class. We've had we've had some people say that they've had some issues with getting everything in a certain amount of time, etc. So we're going to talk through all those things, kind of topic by topic. They'll all be broken down into separate videos, and it's not the open, so 10,000 people are not going to watch this. So we don't care how long it takes. Suck it. I might have gone a little far on that one. But although the first video this year was ridiculous.
It was too long. It was too much.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
First thing we want to talk about, John's been getting this question a lot. He's talked to a lot of the gym owners, a lot of people that are running the program. I think we have almost 70 gyms right now.
Yep.
I don't want to over-exaggerate. Is that right?
It's like 71.
71 gyms running the program right now, which is awesome. Thank you. And John's talked to a lot of you guys about your gym population versus the goals of the program. Okay? So you want to kind of explain where I'm going with that?
Yeah, so, we're going to continuously, obviously, check up with you guys, get feedback, always try to make the program better. But a lot of the stuff is reoccurring as far as the comments I'm getting in terms of, hey, we got a really specific clientele. Either like, hey, we got a lot of military people, or we got a lot of older demographics, or everywhere in between. And we know you guys are very caring, thoughtful gym owners. So the tendency is like, hey, I need to make this as specific as possible for my people, right? So as an affiliate owner, I understand that that passion and that drive to want to make it as custom fitted as possible. So,
right.
And I truly appreciate Don's feedback. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is something that when we first started running the program in 2009, 2010, that there was a lot of discussion about. There was a lot of time spent, in consternation, I guess.
That's actually a good word for it.
Trying to decide, like, do we do this with can a population of normal people handle this, right? Normal people. And the reality is what we come to, and it's full circle, really, now since that point. So when we first started running this program, the goal wasn't competition, right? That became a thing that happened later, right? Our athletes, a few of our athletes excelled. I ended up coaching people that were not part of my gym that went to the games, and that just sort of happened organically. The goal wasn't to make everybody at our gym a competitor, right?
Right.
I mean, we had a broad range of clientele, just like you guys have. And I think people almost, gym owners, affiliate owners, coaches, will almost, I don't want to say this offensively, but will almost let people get away with things because either they don't want to offend them, they don't want to hurt them, they don't want to, whatever the reasoning is. A full snatch, for instance, right? A full snatch is not is not made for only competitors and Olympic weightlifters. Okay, there's no differentiation there. A normal person, an average soccer mom, an average cop, an average dude, female, whatever, should be able to move through the range of motion that is a full snatch. John Dill can't.
But I still strive to work on the
right. But he still the goal is to get him to that point, right? And we don't. The decision that was made in 2009, 2010 was to not cater and to not just take away and leave movements and not prescribe them to people because we thought that it was too hard for them, right? You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think that the important thing to emphasize is the program we get, we're not trying to turn people into Olympic weightlifters.
Yeah.
We're not using the snatch as a tool to build absolute strength. We're not really using it as a strength tool at all. We're using it for proprioception, neuro recruitment, movement patterns, integrity of movement, right?
So 2009, 2010 is when we really put the program in full force with our gym. Look, it wasn't about there was no competition at that time, right? 2009 was. I burped. Sorry. I need some Midol. You realize I made that joke almost every year during the Open, and nobody ever says anything.
Midol joke.
Midol joke. Isn't that that's for? I'm not going to explain the joke. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Anyway, the goal wasn't competition. The goal wasn't anything. The goal was to take. The goal is to take average people and make them at least
building for life.
Well, yeah, but make them be able to not make. Make is a terrible word.
Yeah.
Instruct them and give them the tools to be able to move through a full snatch, right? Or they may never get a muscle up, right? They're still going through the progressions on the rings because they're learning how to control their body. Right? What should the program look like or what does the program look like in its essence?
Adult recess.
Right. Adult recess.
Right.
That's the goal, right? It's not about making the goal has never been making competitors, right? That was an organic byproduct of people just kind of walking in the gym.
Yeah. Can I make a point real quick?
Yeah.
So the point we're getting to is the work now is calibrated for your average human, not even your average CrossFitter. It's for everyone. But we're still going to challenge the average person, the people that are going to make your business the most sustainable, to move through a complete range of motion, right? And we're going to use tools like the full snatch and muscle ups and the progressions and the scalability of those movements to get them there.
Yes.
Right? But volume-wise and intensity, all right, it's built to be for the long term, right? Quality of life, long term. I don't need the next few years. I mean, to keep people moving and feeling as good as possible for as long as possible, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, still at it, right?
Right. So neurological development is gigantic, right? What is the main reason that most people who can't move through the range of motion on a full snatch can't do that? Because neuromuscular or neurologically, their brain is stopping them, right? And when we get somebody to move through that full range of motion, when we get somebody to kind of knock down those inhibitors, what we find out is that, you ready? 99% of mobility issues are not mobility issues, right? I'll give you an example of a person who actually has mobility issues. This guy right here. It's not neurological, right? He has very narrow hips. He's an incredible puller. His body is literally made. John, I'm talking about John, by the way. His body is literally made to pull, and he struggles greatly because of the way his hip joints sit. right? He struggles greatly to get through a full range of motion. He's an example. He can still go through the full range of motion of a snatch, though, right? But it's not as easy as somebody you may have,
or it's fluid, or
right. It's not as easy as somebody who you may have walk in the door, who the first time they snatch, they stop here, right? And they go, I don't have the mobility. And then 3 weeks later, they land 6 inches off the ground, right? The point being that we don't take away movements because we think there's going to be issues with our clients, right? We give them more movements. We give them more movements because the only way we're ever going to break down neurological inhibition, the only way we're ever going to move through a range of motion that's going to strengthen them in the way that we want, i.e. the muscle up, things of that nature, which you may have people that will never, ever do a muscle up.
That's okay.
That's fine. We're still going to do the progression. We're still going to do ring rows, right? We're still going to get on the band and go through a full range of motion. Because
I want to make a point real quick.
Yeah.
And what you will find is there will be people that in your mind you're like, this person will never do a muscle up, and they will shock you and do a muscle up. It might take them 5-10 years.
Yeah.
But just as importantly, they're on a program that's going to keep them coming back because they're going to be to your gym for 5 or 10 years that it takes to get the muscle up, because they're going to be seeing that slow, steady progress, and they're going to be having fun.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, so this will sound harsh. And John will probably not want me to say it. I don't know. But so what's our scale for double under? What was always our scale for double unders? Double unders, right? You will never learn how to do a double under unless you're doing a double under, right? And I don't care if you miss 50 times, right? You still went through the same range of motion. It's a timing issue at that point.
We said misses count. Yeah,
a miscount. So miss 50 times, right? Oh, my shins got all beat up. Well,
and to be clear though, it's not to compete. It's because it forces the body to start to challenge it through things and movements that are already easy.
Your client is never look. We're not talking about competitors. I don't know how to say that more. The majority of the thousands of hours that I've coached in my career, the probably tens to hundreds of thousands of hours that I've coached in my career, have not been spent coaching Matt Frazier's, right? Yes, I've spent some time coaching
high caliber
athletes. The majority of the time that I've spent coaching people have been with everyday average Joe people that were in my gym or that were at seminars or whatever else, right? Hopefully there's an edit right there, and when it edits back in, I'm leaning on the table like this because I think it looks kind of cool. Don't you think it looks kind of cool?
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So the bottom line, right? The bottom line is the reason that the program is not specific for your specific population is because your specific population includes the same population that everybody else's does.
And by that we mean Homo sapiens.
Right. I was going there.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. By that we mean human beings, right?
Same thing.
The prescription for all human beings to be successful, to have longevity as far as fitness goes, is the same, right? I don't care about competitors. I care about the human beings in your gym that are coming to you every day. And when you tell them it's okay to not go through a full range of motion snatch, or you don't need to do a muscle up progression, or you don't need to do a double under, you can do a single under, it's okay. You are stunting their growth. You are stunting their fitness. You are stunting their lives.
With the positive intent of not hurting them or not wanting to make them feel uncomfortable, right? So we get the positive intent,
right?
But a disservice nonetheless.
Not to continue on about the snatch, but I'll kind of be done with it, right? So Glenn Penley, who I used to hang out with and learned a lot of stuff from, etc., told me that the best snatchers that he had ever seen, right, were the guys that were people who, when you gave them an empty barbell, looked the exact same, right? So what does that tell you? It tells you that it's not about weight. It's not about load. It's not about being able to qualify for the American Open, right? It's about that movement pathway. It's about that dance with the bar. It's about the lowering the neuromuscular inhibition to where you can actually fall under an unweighted bar just as quickly as you can fall under a weighted bar, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, gym population, I don't understand your gym population. You don't understand, Rudy. We have a bunch of old ladies and they knit, so their hands hurt all the time, so they don't want to hold onto the bar, right? Make them hold onto the bar.
Or PVC pipe.
Well, PVC pipe, that's fine.
That's what my mom does. Granny. She trains with.
She does?
Yeah. With like wrist braces on because she's got
Knitter's wrists.
she doesn't knit, but
You're killing me.
arthritis.
Arthritis.
We love you, Granny.
I'm the best, the effect, and the cause on the law.